Hey ladies, let's talk about thyroid hormone and muscles during peri and postmenopause. We see a lot of hypothyroidism happening in perimenopause. Now that's largely associated with immune change as our hormones are in chaos. And trying to babysit that chaos without understanding what to do can be really challenging. With all those ups and downs, not only do the ovaries get affected, but that trifecta of ovaries, adrenals, and your thyroid gland, those major endocrine glands, all influenced by the pituitary gland in the brain and hypothalamus, they're heavily influenced as well. So it's not a big surprise. And if you have a predisposition to developing the autoimmune hypothyroidism condition, which is the most common autoimmune disease on the planet, the one that I developed, it compromises everything during perimenopause and menopause. So what can this mean? Even if you don't have hypothyroidism, your thyroid is still going to be impacted during perimenopause and then into postmenopause. Does that mean you're going to become hypothyroid? No, not necessarily. But we do see some changes, and the efficiency of production of those hormones tends to go down. And when that happens, we have all sorts of changes. So we're going to put this in context of the muscles in particular, all your skeletal muscle around your body. We often see as women progress through perimenopause into postmenopause, what's called sarcopenia. And that's that wasting away of muscle. Your body will actually break down muscle for energy if you're not eating enough or absorbing even enough of what you're eating. So because of all the digestive changes that also happen during this time and as we age, you really got to be mindful of supporting digestion, because that's really the foundation other than sleep and breathing. When you don't eat enough, and a lot of people as they age, especially women, we want to eat like birds and we're told to keep our girlish figure and all the things, you're just going to suffer more. And this puts more stress on the adrenals and the thyroid when the ovaries are starting to go senescent, meaning they're going to sleep. The eggs are no longer viable and they're not going to respond to hormonal influences from the brain. So a lot of pressure gets put on these other organs to perform, and it's challenging because the pituitary is like pushing stuff out there, and it's really tough. Let's talk about thyroid hormones. The thyroid gland is going to produce T4 and T3. T4 gets converted to T3 largely at the liver and the gut, but also elsewhere in the body. Muscles use a lot of T4 and T3. T3 in particular will get inside the cell if the receptors allow it. When you're stressed, that's less likely to be efficient. But once it gets into the cell, it goes to the nucleus in particular, but not only, but mostly to the nucleus, and turns on and off all kinds of genes to make different proteins. And this is the crux of it all. If you don't have a lot of muscle, it's not going to be stimulated very well by this T3. And if you're not making enough T4 and T3, then you don't even have enough to keep muscles satisfied. And what does this impact? It impacts stem cells, muscle stem cells, to make muscle and repair muscle tissue when it's been damaged, for growth of muscle, for the metabolic rate of how muscles use energy to do things so they can fatigue too quickly. This is common in menopause. And it impacts how well muscle responds to insulin, the hormone that carries glucose, your sugars, around the body to do work. And if it can't get inside the cells, or you don't have a lot of muscle cells to do that, you're going to store excess sugar, even if you're not eating a lot. You're going to store it as fat, specifically around the abdomen and the organs, called visceral adipose tissue, VAT, V-A-T. Thyroid hormone will affect the speed at which that the muscles can contract and relax. So you can get a lot of spasms. You can get a lot of inefficient movement. They just lose their power. And this is normal, sadly. But I think it's normal because our diets are not dialed in. They're not optimized. Besides the fact that it'd be nice if we were lifting weights and being more active in the world. If you're going through perimenopause and you're getting weaker, and you're going into postmenopause and are definitely weaker, whether or not you're on HRT, okay? But it's worse without HRT. If that's happening, you're not as motivated to get out in the world and do stuff and work hard. And if repair is difficult, and if you have a lot of pain with repair, especially if you have an autoimmune disease and your immune system stays really hiked, then it's tough to feel motivated to get out and do extra work. On top of laundry and cooking and, I don't know, just living. So what do? We want to definitely look at your blood work and make sure that you're not going into any kind of hypothyroid state that could be managed a little bit with some support. And it doesn't have to be like medication, hormone support. Sometimes it should be, if you want to optimize and live a great life. I'd be dead if I wasn't using it. And that's the truth because of the way my thyroid has been destroyed. So then looking at your diet and personalizing it for protein and carbs and fats and fiber. This is really important. And again, for many nuanced reasons. In a nutshell, we want to look at that and really know if for your body, this is being optimized. And if it isn't, that's the surefire way to start optimizing things so that you could have the capacity then to build muscle, repair it, and grow muscle and preserve it as you're aging. And as that slowly gets better, you have more power, you have more enjoyment of your life, you have more capability to go out and do work, and you won't gain as much weight. This is powerful because as your estrogen's going down, no matter what, your muscles are going to be inefficient at making energy. So they're going to waste away. Thyroid then is impacted. It's going to be reducing muscle growth and repair and recovery. Insulin is a part of that. And you're going to store more sugar as fat, not only at VAT around your abdomen, but also even within the muscle tissue that's remaining as like marbled muscle. I think that's pretty amazing that the body does it. And actually it's pretty genius. But if you can slow down that decline, which we can with diet and movement, then that seems like the smart way to do it. Something that's been lost to society. We haven't been trained to do this, even though it's a natural possibility for us outside of taking hormone replacement therapy. And if you want to do some hormone replacement therapy, you want to talk to geeks like me so we can get that ball rolling. So let's do the work, get some muscle building, get your diet dialed in even first with sleep. Those are the foundations, ladies. And one of the saddest things I hear sometimes is that nothing works for an individual. And that's because we got to get the mindset piece dialed in to get them to keep doing the changes, to eat a little different most of the time. Even 80% of the time would be spectacular. It would change your life. So if you're struggling to do that yourself, call me. We'll figure some stuff out. We'll get the ball rolling for you. I hope this is helpful. Have a wonderful day. Bye.